Most people think Japanese cars last forever because of magic engineering. But the truth is way deeper than that. In Japan, mechanics don't just service cars. They treat them like living machines that respond to small habits, rituals, and hidden routines that foreign drivers never learn about. These rituals are what allow Japanese taxis to run 800,000 kilometers without burning oil and make old Corollas in rural Japan still drive smoother than brand-new cars in other countries. In this video, we are going to expose the deepest, most guarded Japanese mechanic secrets, the ones they follow daily but never tell foreign buyers who import their cars. These aren't just tricks. They are the real reason Japanese engines stay quiet, transmissions stay smooth, electronics last decades, and suspensions never feel loose even after hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Let's get started. Secret number 11. Japanese oil top-up culture. In Japan, it is normal for drivers to pop the hood weekly to check oil levels. They don't wait for warning lights or strange noises. They maintain the oil at the absolute top of the dipstick and never let it go low. Why? Because an engine with low oil runs hotter, wears faster, and loses the protective film between metal surfaces. A study by a Japanese automotive institute found that engines running consistently at the top of the oil mark had 60% less bearing wear compared to engines that fluctuated between low and full. Japanese drivers top up their oil long before the next change, sometimes every 1,000 kilometers, because they understand oil is not just lubrication. It is life, and this one habit alone is responsible for countless Japanese engines staying quiet and smooth, even past 700,000 plus kilometers. Secret number 10. 12 to 18 second warm-up ritual. Japanese mechanics know that engine wear doesn't happen when the engine is running normally. It happens in the first 30 seconds after a cold start. That's why they follow a warm-up ritual almost no foreign driver has ever heard of. Instead of letting the engine idle for long periods, they start the car, let the RPM settle, wait about 12 to 18 seconds, and then begin driving gently under 2,000 RPM for the first few minutes. This technique gets the oil circulating faster than idling and reduces metal-on-metal scuffing inside the cylinders. It also keeps carbon buildup low, prevents catalytic converter damage, and extends the life of the timing chain dramatically. Foreign buyers who simply start the car and drive aggressively never realize how much early life damage they're causing. Secret number 9. Idling cut strategy. Japanese cities like Tokyo and Osaka are famous for slow, congested traffic, yet their cars still reach insane mileage. The secret is a habit called idling stop. Long before modern cars had start-stop systems, Japanese drivers manually turned off the engine during long traffic lights, extended train crossings, and heavy jams. But here is the twist. They only do it when the engine is fully warm, preventing cold start stress. This technique reduces unnecessary fuel dilution, keeps oil from thinning, and prevents overheating in older engines with weak cooling systems. Japanese engineering data shows that engines running fewer idle hours have dramatically lower sludge buildup and up to 25% longer timing chain life. Idle time is engine life wasted, and the Japanese refuse to waste it. Over hundreds of thousands of kilometers, reducing idle time acts like removing years of wear from the engine's lifespan. Secret number 8. 10-second acceleration rule. Japanese mechanics discovered long ago that the first few minutes after starting your engine determine its entire lifespan, and this trick is their most respected secret. Instead of hitting the gas hard or rushing into traffic, Japanese drivers let the car accelerate slowly and smoothly. High RPMs on cold oil create microscopic metal wear that never heals, and Japanese engineers say this is responsible for over 70% of engine aging in modern cars. But with gentle, controlled acceleration, the oil warms faster, the pistons expand evenly. This tiny habit reduces timing chain strain and keeps the cylinder walls perfectly lubricated even at high mileage. Over hundreds of thousands of kilometers, this 10-second rule becomes the difference between an engine that dies at 250,000 kilometers and one that passes 1 million kilometers without ever losing its smoothness. Secret number 7. Three-stage fuel additive cycle. In Japan, mechanics don't wait for rough idle or misfires before using additives. First, every 5,000 kilometers, they add a detergent injector cleaner to maintain a perfect spray pattern. Next cycle, they add a combustion chamber cleaner to stop carbon on pistons and valves. Finally, they add a top-end lubricant that protects valve stems and helps turbo cars avoid low-speed pre-ignition. This rotation ensures all parts of the fuel system stay clean and balanced, not just the injectors. Unlike foreign drivers who dump one bottle randomly, Japanese mechanics treat additives like official maintenance. That's why Japanese engines rarely lose power with age, and why used Japanese imports feel smoother than local vehicles. Their engines simply never get the chance to clog in the first place. Secret number 6. 70% brake pad replacement rule. Japanese mechanics never wait for brake pads to reach the last 20%, like many drivers do overseas. Instead, they replace them early around 70% wear. Not because the brakes won't stop, but because thin pads overheat the entire braking system. When pads get thinner, heat transfers faster into calipers, brake fluid, and the wheel bearings, causing long-term overheating damage. Keeping pads thick stabilizes braking temperatures and protects rotors from warping, which is why Japanese cars almost never suffer from pulsating brakes. It also preserves wheel bearings, ABS sensors, and even the CV joints by reducing vibration and stress. This rule dramatically extends the lifespan of every part attached to the wheel. Foreign cars with brake problems usually suffer from owners trying to stretch pads to the last millimeter. That is something Japanese mechanics would never allow. Secret number 5. Transmission fluid refresh instead of full flush. Outside Japan, mechanics usually do a full drain and fill or a harsh flush. Japanese mechanics do neither. They perform refresh intervals, meaning they drain a small amount of old fluid and top it up with new fluid every 20,000 to 30,000 kilometers. This keeps the fluid chemistry stable, prevents shock to the friction materials, extends the valve body life, and avoids the massive failures that happen after aggressive flushes. This is why Japanese CVTs last far longer domestically than the same cars exported overseas. Instead of waiting for dark fluid, Japanese mechanics steadily maintain perfect fluid quality. Secret number 4. Secret underbody wash rituals. Japan gets heavy rain, snow, and road salt, depending on the region, so mechanics there obsess over underbody cleaning. But they don't just pressure wash, it's a process. First, they rinse the wheel wells, then the suspension arms, and finally, the subframe. They do this every oil change, whether the driver asked for it or not, because they know rust doesn't start on the outside of the car. It starts underneath where nobody looks. This ritual prevents failure of stabilizer links, brake lines, fuel lines, and rear subframe mounts. Meanwhile, foreign buyers often buy Japan import cars with spotless exteriors, but serious hidden rust simply because they didn't know that underbody cleaning is one of Japan's deepest mechanic habits. Therefore, Nissan, Toyota, and Honda taxis in Japan stay solid at insane mileage because this ritual keeps their underbody metal young. Secret number 3. The non-negotiable cabin filter rule. Most drivers think cabin filters only affect air quality, but Japanese mechanics treat them as engine components. Why? Because a dirty cabin filter restricts airflow to the AC system, increasing load on the AC compressor. When that compressor struggles, it loads the engine through the serpentine belt, increasing fuel usage. In Japan, mechanics replace cabin filters every 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers. Not because they look dirty, but because they protect the engine from hidden parasitic drag. Foreign drivers who replace filters once every few years unknowingly create small, constant engine stress that adds up after thousands of kilometers. This one simple ritual keeps Japanese cars feeling light and responsive, even at high mileage. Secret number 2. Battery rituals. No one outside Japan. Does Japanese mechanics treat batteries as part of the engine's health, not just a power source? Every service, they clean terminals, tighten connections, apply anti-corrosion gel, and check alternator voltage output with precise tools. For older-style batteries, they even check water levels to prevent plate drying, which drastically prolongs battery life. A stable charging system keeps the ECU, ignition coils, sensors, and transmission modules functioning perfectly. This is why Japanese cars rarely suffer from random misfires, ABS errors, or electronic glitches even at high mileage. Outside Japan, drivers only replace batteries when they fail, and by that time, they have already damaged multiple electronic components without realizing it. This quiet battery ritual is a huge reason Japanese imports run smoother than locally maintained cars. Secret number 1. Engine bay cleaning as preventive diagnostics. To Japanese mechanics, cleaning the engine bay isn't cosmetic, it is diagnostic. A clean engine bay reveals leaks instantly, allowing them to catch tiny issues before they become expensive failures. When dust, oil mist, or coolant residue is visible, mechanics know exactly where to inspect. They clean the bay every service so any new spots stand out immediately. This early detection prevents overheating, oil starvation, failing timing covers, cracked hoses, and serpentine belt wear. Foreign garages often avoid engine cleaning, claiming it is unnecessary or risky, but in Japan, it is the foundation of long-term reliability. This habit alone saves Japanese engines from catastrophic failures that foreign drivers often face unexpectedly. That's all for this video. And those are the deep Japanese mechanic secrets that foreign buyers simply never hear about. Yet they are the real reason Japanese cars survive unbelievable mileage. If you want your engine, transmission, suspension, and electronics to last as long as the cars you see in Tokyo taxi fleets, start applying these habits today. Your car will thank you 200,000 kilometers from now. See you in the next video.